It's a seafarer unlike any other. A yacht billed as the ultimate triple threat of comfort, style, and safety. When you're aboard this vessel, whether it's a brisk trip around the Arctic or a sun-filled sandy beach venture to the Caribbean, it's your choice. This boat is uniquely built to handle both landscapes. We'd like to introduce Datcha 77, the brainchild of Russian engineers, and it's expensive, very expensive. We're taking you from port to starboard and everywhere in between to see what makes this luxury cruiser tick, so you can decide if it's worth the pretty penny to own one. Datcha 77 is the result of the finest Russian engineers' tireless labor to produce a yacht unlike any other. It was commissioned by Russian billionaire banker Oleg Tinkov, whose net worth was most recently estimated at $2.7 billion. How did Mr. Tinkov acquire such an incredible fortune? Well, he founded the Tinkov Bank in 2007, which now proudly boasts its current title as one of the world's largest online banks. Over 8 million people use Tinkov Bank in Russia. Before taking the online banking world by storm, Oleg Tinkov was known for creating frozen food brands, his own special brew called Tinkov Beer, and he owned a string of restaurants called, you guessed it, Tinkov Restaurants. By selling his beer business, he had enough money to start his bank. In 2013, he went public on the London Stock Exchange, leading to Tinkov becoming one of the wealthiest people in the world. And if there's one thing we've learned about the wealthiest of the wealthy, it's that they love their big boats. But Tinkov wanted something that had never been seen before when he commissioned his big boat. When talking about his vision for Datcha 77, he was quoted as saying, "It is yachting, but a completely different one," Tinkov explained. "It's about exploring, but not about drinking martinis and showing off in Saint-Tropez. It's that very mantra of truly setting off on adventures in uncharted waters that makes Datcha 77 so special. It's got what it takes under the hood to back up the bold claims." So let's talk stats for a second. Just what makes Datcha 77 stand out and make it so much more than other yachts on the market? For starters, this mega yacht is an impressive 77 meters long. That's where it gets its classy 77 moniker at the end of its name. That translates to 250 feet long. It can top out at speeds of up to 14.5 knots and is capable of accommodating 12 guests at a time. But with such a big boat comes an equally large crew, and the Datcha 77 houses a crew of 25 members. And they not only keep the boat running smoothly while keeping guests happy, they are also billed as the expedition staff. Remember, this ain't your average yacht, it's an exploratory vessel. So just what makes this vessel ever so much more than the average billionaire's getaway boat? We'd say it's the astounding engineering that was done by the team at Amels and Damon. They're a world-renowned yachting company and have produced some of the finest superboats the world has ever seen. It was these masterminds that produced Datcha, and we'd say they knew what they were doing. Because of the ice class and IMO Polar Code engineering, Datcha is able to travel to the coldest, most dangerous regions on the globe. Regions usually off-limits to less hardy yachts. If you want to visit the Arctic or the Antarctic, Datcha 77 will take you there. And when you get there, oh man, the adventure just begins. This exploratory vessel is equipped with 2 helicopters that can take off and land right from the boat, a dive center and decompression chamber, 1 submersible so you can go for a quick journey to all the wonders underwater, as well as 4 wave runners and 2 snow scooters, depending on what you're into, and of course, what region of the world you're in. Yeah, this just ain't your average yacht. On top of it all, the fine folks at Amels and Damon also designed this beast with enhanced fuel tanks and an improved garbage management system. These specialized improvements allow Datcha 77 to stay out at sea for a full 40 days before needing to dock. So, go ahead, take your time and explore what other yachts can only dream of. And we mean that literally, of course. Remember, the Mediterranean and Caribbean seas are beautiful, but their sandy beaches and shorelines only account for about 5% of the entire world's coastlines. That means 95% of the world's potential routes are unexplored by other superyachts. Basically, if you want that extra 95, you gotta go with the 77. Now that you know a bit about what this bad boy is capable of, we bet you're wondering just how much it costs. We don't blame you, and we got your answer right here. Reports say that it cost Tinkov over $100 million to build Datcha. And while on the surface that may seem like chump change to a multi-billionaire, it's in maintenance and upkeep that really make this boat only for the 1% of the 1%. Paying the crew, standard yacht maintenance, dockage, and of course fuel all start to add up. And according to Business Insider, a yacht owner can expect to pay about 10% of the purchase price each year just on all these operating costs. That means on average, Datcha 77 costs $10 million a year just to maintain. And hey, if you think about it, it makes sense. Fuel for a super yacht can come to $350,000 a year, not including all those fun accessories like the wave runner and helicopters. Simple maintenance costs Datcha $2 million annually, and don't forget insurance, which according to Towergate Insurance comes to around $240,000 a year. With these kinds of costs, we can see you scratching your head why anyone in their right mind would buy such a boat, unless you really liked luxury cruising out at sea. But here's the thing, Mr. Tinkov is first and foremost a businessman, and he has stated that he only plans to use the boat for his personal usage 20 weeks out of the year. The rest of the time, it will be rented out weekly at a rate of 740,000 euros. That's the equivalent of over $876,000 in the United States. If Tinkov really does mean to rent this out as much as he says, he will make an annual profit of over $28 million a year. Looks like in no time at all, Datcha 77 pays for itself. Smart investing, Mr. Tinkov. But just what will 740,000 euros a week get you? Where is this yacht slated to go? And what kind of accommodations are on board? Datcha 77 has released its upcoming routes, and they really are spectacular. One of its regions of exploration is the Ross Sea in Antarctica. You will trek amongst the penguins and could even have a chance encounter with humpback whales. Datcha will also be traveling to the Bering Sea in Alaska. Here, guests will be able to enjoy the beauty and awe that is Kamchatka right from the comfort of the observation deck. You will even be able to go heli-skiing from the tops of the Alaskan Chugach Mountains. Skiing not your thing? Don't worry. Datcha will also be venturing to the northeast and northwest passage of the Arctic Svalbard in Greenland. Here, you will be able to polar kayak and hang out with polar narwhals, walruses, and beluga whales. Had enough of cold climates? Well, you're in luck. Papua New Guinea, the Solomon Islands, and Vanuatu are all on course for the Oceania leg of the trek. Since there is a lack of roads in this region, here you will use tenders to travel up the river. The customs of this region date back to over 30,000 years, and you will get to experience all the food, dancing, and culture of this incredible area. The last region Datcha 77 will be heading out to is Micronesia, Southeast Asia. Here, you will want to make sure you are ready for some of the best diving the world has to offer. This region houses the world's highest concentration of ocean biomass, and you'll see some of the most gorgeous reefs known to man. And much of the area hasn't been charted yet. You very well may pioneer a new favorite diving spot for fellow adventurers that travel to this part of the world. All this talk of where you'll be going had us almost forget the splendor of the very vessel you'll be virtually venturing forth on. Datcha 77 is a wonder to be explored all by yourself. Here's what you'll get when you rent her out for your week at sea. On board, there are 2 full-size jacuzzis, one located indoors and one outdoors. There's also a sauna and a bath, massage room, and of course, a gym where you can get your sweat on and stay in tip-top shape on your trek. Datcha has an active stabilization system, which will keep you from getting nauseous out at sea. The decks are furnished with the best that Amels and Damon have to offer, including full-height windows in the observation lounge, the main saloon, and the owner's suite. Oh, but don't forget the upper deck observation deck. It allows for fully panoramic views on your journey. There's nothing quite like the sun deck for sharing memories with friends and loved ones. And you can be sure they will all be comfortable themselves in their 6 guest suites, which include 2 master cabins and 2 VIP suites. Each of these glamorous rooms comes with its own full bathroom and a walk-in closet. Basically, once you get aboard the Datcha, they gotcha. You never want to leave. As for food, this super yacht is catered by the Tinkov collection chefs, who will be using both local produce and the ship's one-of-a-kind board provisions. You'll be tasting exquisite delectables from all over the world, from local cuisines to exotic international taste sensations. They'll be sure to fully fill the adventurous eater in every explorer. And the chefs will even theme meals based on the region you're traveling to. It's guaranteed to be a journey unlike any other, and one you'll never forget. A trip on this floating behemoth of beauty and benevolence would be quite a journey, if you can afford it, that is. In fact, when Business Insider writer Hillary Hoffauer asked yacht crew members if they ever dreamed of owning their own yacht one day, they answered with a resounding no. The expenses were just too high and seemingly never-ending. Hey, we don't blame them. Owning a yacht ain't for everyone, and it certainly ain't for those without the bank account to back it up. But if you do invest, you can charge those wealthy tourists well over the weekly cost to maintain that superboat. Then you can sit back, relax, and continue to enjoy your life as the 1% of the 1%. And who knows, maybe we'll make a video about you one day and how you became one of the richest. Thanks so much for checking out today's video. We love researching the fascinating world of the wealthy and learning about some of the incredible lifestyles they get to live, like life aboard the Datcha 77.